Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Live from the GBM studios in Belize City, it's Open Your Eyes. Start your morning right with your hosts, Sabrina Daly and Paul Lopez.
Good morning and welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Sabrina Daly.
And I'm Paul Lopez.
And here's what we have lined up for you in terms of conversations you can look forward to this morning. Starting off with supporting Emiliano's fight for a brighter future. Also, building climate resilience with historic accreditation. Scouting Belize's future U15 basketball stars. Savoring Fuzed Bistro's organic flavors. And we might be jumping into a little bit of a debate later on in the show. And the question goes, does the Belize Police Department have enough independent oversight to hold officers accountable? Good morning, Paul. How you doing? Happy Tuesday.
I'm doing fine. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to our viewers. You've made it past Monday.
Yeah.
So the week is well on its way, and we are well on our way to the end of the week on an express train. Just hold on, we're gonna get there.
That's a good way to put it, on an express train. But we do have some topics that we think are currently trending online and on the news, and we think you guys should know them before you leave your homes this morning.
Definitely, Sabrina. So here's what you need to know in terms of some of the hot topics that are out there we're discussing. First of all, Compol Rosado urges against online content inciting violence. Secondly, the court rejects the bid to strike out BSCFA's claim on fair trade or denial of fair trade for that. Thirdly, an elderly man was killed in Valley of Peace during a vehicle crash. Fourthly, devastating flood kills nearly 100 in Central Texas. A very tragic and devastating story that we've been following for the better part of the weekend into early this week. And KTV, the Remix live shows kicks off tonight inside the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Another very, very, very buzzing topic at this point in time. Sabrina?
Yeah, so I know that a lot of us are buzzing with excitement about KTV, but I think it's important for us to continue the conversation that we've been having. Of course, that has to do with the double murder that occurred over the weekend. You guys would know that we spoke about that yesterday in our morning show coverage, and we also provided additional information in our newscast. I think it's just a completely devastating situation, Paul. You were able to speak with the Commissioner of Police yesterday, who, alongside other representatives of the Belize Police Department, as well as the Leadership Intervention Unit, they held a press conference in front of the home of Evadne and Luke Jones, two of the victims of gun violence. I think, though, one, this was the first time I've seen something like that take place, where there's a press conference by the police department in front of the victims' homes. But two, I think it comes on the heels of the uniqueness of this entire crime that took place. We saw the circulation of videos on social media by Mr. Patrick Jones, kind of speaking of sort of like a rivalry between two gang factions. He brought up his mother. We understand that he's currently not here in Belize. He's living in the United States, or he's at least currently staying in the United States with intentions of returning to Belize. He did say that. But in just a matter of hours, senseless violence took place where his mother would have been subsequently killed and his disabled brother as well. One of the questions that you posed to, I believe it was the acting LIU director, Mr. Dawson, Andrew Dawson, was, is this something that we, should be concerned about, where these senseless acts of violence are crossing the line, where persons who cannot defend themselves, disabled persons, mothers, that's the line that you wouldn't cross. Is this something that we are seeing as a point of no turning back? Yeah. That, to me, was like the question that hung in the air. It was like the heavy question that I think is probably still on the minds of a lot of us. And of course, what we are hoping for now is the steps that will follow in terms of bringing these culprits to justice. We did hear from the Compol saying that they will utilize every available resource to ensure that these persons are brought to justice. But it's still that heavy feeling that's weighing, I think, on all of us at this point.
Indeed, one of the privilege that this job affords me is the ability to speak to individuals from different corners of the victims' lives, right? Or different avenues or aspects of the victims' lives. So in yesterday's case, I got to speak to a friend of the beloved Luki, the paralyzed 47-year-old that was gunned down in this incident. I also spoke off record with the daughter of the, who is also the sister of this family. So it's the daughter of Miss Evadne and the sister of Luki. And we were able also to speak with with Kenneth Flowers, Big Tom, right, who is also a member of that community and somewhat of a prominent figure in Southside Belize City. And then, of course, the Leadership Intervention Unit, the director, acting director of the Leadership Intervention Unit, who has a professional or a working relationship with these young men and these communities.
Where mediation is concerned. Yeah.
Right, where mediation, but mediation is an approach with multiple tentacles. You can't just go in there and be professional. To a great degree, you have to be relational. You have to be able to empathize with communities, and that's what mediation is about. So you basically engrave yourself into society. And then, of course, we spoke with the Commissioner of Police. And one of the things you understand from my perspective is how far-reaching the impact of such a crime is on a community. People that that are perhaps second thought in your mind are affected by these sort of violent acts. And so it explains why confidence deteriorates in these communities over time when this senseless killing takes place. Because it's not only the family that's immediately affected, but there's friends, Mr. Hector Primo, who works as a security guard at La Popular Bakery. He spoke about how much this incident affects him. He says he lost a friend.
Yeah, even the business itself, La Popular, put up the black
itself put up a black
even though
bowl.
he wasn't an employee there.
You could imagine that. In fact, that he was what some would describe as a beggar, sitting in front of a store.
They have a picture of him there on the step.
For years and years, right? And so there's that rippling effect in a community. And it's unfortunate that that's trickled down from the adult that's directly impacted, whether it's a friend or a neighbor, to their community or their family that might not live within that community, but the news spreads, and to even the children in that home. And this is how confidence in the police is deteriorated, because people ask, well, how comes the police weren't able to stop it? But also how people within these communities begin to feel less safe as time goes by. And then you consider the fact that in this case, it's a mother, an elderly woman, it's right. So we're just talking initially about just how safety deteriorates, or how confidence or citizen safety deteriorates, and confidence within law enforcement. And then now you have this case where it's an innocent mother and a paralyzed man.
Yeah.
Well, that takes it to a next level. And that's what we found out yesterday. And that is why, in my view, the Commissioner of Police and his Belize City OCs decided, or commanders decided, to take to the street and parade, if you would, a show of force to say that we, the law enforcement leaders of this old capital, of this city, will not allow that citizen safety that is evidently deteriorating. We will not allow that to continue. And so I think that's the statement that was made there. However, you have to ask if it will be enough, right? One, because there's a lot more questions than answers left to be hashed out. Yesterday, one of the things that we challenged the commissioner on is, how is it that these individuals, their lifeless bodies were discovered 20 hours later? That's a big question.
Yeah.
After gunshots were heard by the community, and again, a community that feels as if citizen security is at an all-time low won't look out of their windows when gunshots are heard. They won't go and investigate within the neighboring yard to see if in fact somebody was shot. They're thinking, how can I protect myself? How can I protect my family?
Yeah.
How can I seek security? So they won't do that. They rely on the Belize Police Department, law enforcement officers, and the resources. And one of the questions the community is then asking is, how is it that this murder went undetected for 20 hours when the victims were right there in front of their gates? So that's one of the issues. But then another issue comes from, or another perspective comes from Kenneth Flowers, Big Tom. And I know he has his reputation, he has his records attached to him, and he's saying that he's seeking to change and to push positivity, and kudos to him. In this case, I don't shoot the messenger, I listen to the message. And Big Tom speaks of the uncontrolled emotions that these young men have when they're in this sort of rivalry. Anything could trigger them. And in this case, it was a social media post.
Yeah.
And he speaks of these, or he encourages these young men within this community to basically learn how to control your emotions, learn how to assess situations, which is a hard ask when you've been stuck in this trend of reaction.
Yeah.
I'll react impulsively to every single disrespect, everything you say to me.
You know, though, just to add to that, I think because we also heard from the Compal speaking about the use of social media and how crimes are changing, where you know we would have police officers on the ground, but now they have to monitor screens where these types of threats are taking place online. I think one of my questions that I still have is, what role, if any, will they be able to pin Patrick Jones's involvement in the death of his loved ones?
Yeah.
And I think that question was posed to the Compal, if there are any charges that can be levied in terms of the conversations that we heard on that TikTok video. We do know that the Belize Police Department expressed they did try to do what they could to remove the video online or offline, but the way the internet works is the minute it's posted, it's
it
basically
spreads.
there forever. You
Yeah.
know, it's going to spread like wildfire. People are going to save it, and you can't necessarily control that thereafter. But as I said, he did express that he plans to return to Belize, and so we continue to follow what the next steps from the Belize Police Department will be when Mr. Jones does return. Until then, as I said, the Compol did express that they are using every available resources that they have to ensure that they bring those culprits to justice.
He would be foolish to return.
Yeah.
Only because he is a wanted man in Belize. He knows that. So
But
I'm
now
not
he has
sure.
a vendetta, though.
Yeah, but the moment you return, the moment you're picked up
Yeah.
at the airport or wherever, whatever point of entry you decide to come in from. So I don't know how much weight his decision or his statement to come back carries, because he's a wanted man in Belize, and you have to have that known. So yeah, we'll continue to follow this for sure, and the LIU definitely has a lot on their hands to work with. Compol has a lot on his hands to work with, and the community at large. There needs to be that citizen security confidence built back within that community, and just the entire Southside Belize with what's going on.
All right. Well, what we're also following, and this one we actually did not include on the list, but the Prime Minister leaves or has left the country to attend the 49th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. This, of course, we know takes place annually. It's the 49th year, but of course this is of interest to us because of our role that we play in CARICOM. We also know that yesterday the new president of the Caribbean Court of Justice was also sworn in.
That was in the weekend.
In the weekend, and
yeah.
so we saw the PM's presence there as well. He also spoke to development and, of course, Belize's role in this achievement. But we do want to also highlight another topic that we mentioned a little bit earlier, and that has to do with the courts rejecting a bid to strike out the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association claim. Now, this is an interesting one, Paul, because I think we have been speaking extensively to the divide within the Belize sugarcane industry and the sugarcane associations. I believe it was earlier this year, about a month or so ago, we were also following this claim to see if it would develop anywhere further. I believe one of the points put forward was that they wanted to take it to London, and that was rejected because they are essentially saying that this matter can be tried here locally. Yes?
Yeah, so I was just looking for the actual name of this body that would oversee the case in London. But just to say that this is a big win for the BSCFA. We've been following what has been taking place with them and the fair trade situation for the past 3 years, if you would. So in 2021 and 2022, they claim that they didn't receive the fair trade, the BSCFA specifically, and the fair trade is basically a premium that they receive for being fair trade certified, for good practices, international standards in terms of how they grow their sugarcane, in terms of how their operations are conducted, the mill fair trade certified in terms of their processes, and so the entire industry to a great extent is fair trade certified, and it will take a long while to rehash what was happening there, but the BSCFA really escalated their campaign in that 2022, after that 2022-2023 crop, when they realized, hey, we're not getting the fair trade that we deserve, and they were accusing the mill of withholding that, saying that fair trade is passing it through the mill, and then the mill is not disbursing it to them, and then you had that whole issue where there was an agreement between the mill and the BSCFA that they were trying to hash out, and in the absence of that, there were claims made on both ends as to why or why not this fair trade should not be paid out, and it was a significant sum that the farmers would use to basically invest in their fields in a similar manner they go to the banks to get money to invest in their fields. So what BSI or the mill did, they brought a claim after the farmers sought to sue the mill over this fair trade. And again, this same fair trade issue contributed to the start of the sugar inquiry. Remember that big thing? This fair trade issue was a part of why that inquiry took place. And basically, after the farmers took BSI to court, BSI took the matter to say a counterclaim to say, hey, you guys, the courts here in Belize can't deal with this issue based on an agreement we made. This matter where fair trade is concerned and this dispute should be heard in London. And then the courts in Belize decided that that's not the case, that they can't hear it. And so it will be an interesting play of events to see how this one plays out, to see where the direction it takes, whether it's in favor of the mill or whether it's in favor of the farmers. And I don't know how well this bodes for the industry in general.
Yeah, because I was just thinking we are at a critical point where
100%.
the Belize sugar industry is looking at a terrible season upcoming with fusarium already on the rise. And so I can't imagine that this would be even more of a costly venture for them when they're already losing a lot of money.
And that's the conversation that needs to be had, right? You could talk about the technical stuff and stumble your way through figuring out all of that, or you could talk about what Minister Mai mentioned at the last House meeting or outside of the last House meeting during an interview. I wish we would stop spending so much money on expensive lawyers. And these sorts of cases require expensive lawyers, and in an industry that is falling apart, that you're cash-strapped, I don't know how you're affording these lawyers to push these sort of cases forward when on the ground the fields are literally rotting. Where's our priority in terms of moving the sugar industry forward? But everybody has a right to make their claims, to take their grievances before the court, and so this is one that I believe we'll just have to watch play out.
All right. Well, speaking of playing out, today is an exciting day for us here at Greater Belize Media because it is officially night one of the live shows of KTV The Remix Season 7. And I know that many of you are looking forward to that. I hope you have purchased your tickets, or at least are planning to get your tickets today, because they are still available and on sale here at our studios on Coney Drive, as well as I believe the 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Night 1 is tonight, and you will officially be able to see 12 contestants take the stage to showcase their gifts, their talents for the entire country, for the entire world to see, really. And I am so excited about that.
Were you able to identify your favorites from the auditions?
A couple of them. I am excited to see some returning faces. There was this one performer, and I honestly cannot remember her name at this point, but she blew us all out of the park.
Lindo?
Yes, singing that Whitney Houston song.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 girl. Somebody put her in a church choir. She sounds like she actually sings.
She's
in
amazing,
a church.
and what's amazing about her is the fact, and I did not know, that she was a former contestant.
Yes, I knew that.
Okay, so I did
also
not
her
know
sister.
that. Okay.
So she has a younger sister that actually came on the show, I believe, maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, and they all have pipes, Paul.
So
like, they can all sing.
I don't remember her, but I know her now, which shows that she has been sticking to it and she has improved. You know who I'm also impressed with? So that's one returning. I'm also impressed with Budram. I can't remember her first name.
Yeah, the names are escaping me, but it's fine because it's only week 1.
She's returning as well. She made it very far. If it was not last year, it was the year before. She made it very far in the competition, and now she's returning. Another exciting act because she has also shown a great deal of improvement.
What did you think when you saw Tim August in the auditions? I mean, he's here on the show all the time, cooking up a storm, and now we see him showcasing his singing abilities. I'm excited to see if he's going to make the stage tonight.
I thought that's the spirit. That's the sort of confidence we all need to step out of our comfort comfort zone and do something different, try something new. And so big up to Tim. We usually see him in the kitchen, and this time around we saw him on the stage performing. So big up to Tim. It's going to be an exciting show tonight.
It will be. And of course, we do want to remind you guys that tickets are still selling. They're $5. As you can see on the screen, they are available here at our studios on Coney Drive, as well as the 88 Shopping Center. Please, though, follow us online because, you know, we do pull out our contents here and there. But I think also with enjoying what is taking place content-wise, we are also sharing some giveaways with our viewers as well. And so we do want to encourage you guys to follow our social media on Instagram, on Facebook. We also had a recent post going up asking about watch parties. Are you planning to watch with your friends and family? We want you to show us what that looks like. Tag us, and then we are going to ensure that, you know, we throw in some giveaways here and there. I think, though, I've always encouraged people to go to the actual live performances because giveaways also take place there. And it's a totally different experience, Paul, being able to see these performers take the stage live and in person. It's very different from when you're at home and you're watching on your devices, but I'm excited.
I am excited as well. Let's pack out the bliss tonight and have some fun.
All righty. Well, that does it for the 5 things we think you need to know. We do got to move into our weather update, though, and of course that's provided to us by the National Meteorological Service.
All right, so this is our weather update for today. And for today's forecast, we have sunny skies with a few cloudy spells today and partly cloudy to cloudy skies tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be generally isolated with a medium chance of a few more over some coastal and southern areas late tonight. Let's look at today's temperatures. Along the coast will be 87 degrees Fahrenheit in the higher end and 80 degrees on the lower end. Inland, we're going to get some heat, 93 degrees Fahrenheit. And on the lower end, perhaps later on in the day, we have 75 degrees Fahrenheit on the lower end. In the hills where things are always cool to an extent, we have 79 degrees Fahrenheit on the higher end, and then it drops below 70 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Man, take me to the hills. Extended forecast. Wednesday, we're looking at 88 degrees Fahrenheit, 94 degrees in the hills, 88 on Thursday, and 94 in the hills also on Thursday. Again, we see consistency here. Friday, this is going all the way to the weekend, and I know a lot of us are already looking to the weekend. It's just Tuesday, folks. Take your time, slow down. 88 degrees Fahrenheit and 94 in the hills. And then Saturday, oh, the glory day, 86 degrees Fahrenheit on the lower end and 91 in the hills. Now our astronomical forecast for those interested in sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset. Our sun rose this morning at 5:24 a.m. and it's going to set later on this evening at 6:31 p.m. So pull out those chairs, go on the back porch at 6:30 and watch the sunset at 6:31. Our moonrise tonight or later on this evening at 5 p.m. and the moon sets tomorrow morning at 4:05 a.m. So this is for those that are interested in that moonrise and moon set. Our marine condition for our sea folks, sea state, it's going to be choppy today. So it's going to be a little bit rough out there. The winds is going to blow from east to northeast at 10 to 20 knots. So tides, let's look at our tides. Today's high tide begins at 7:40. So we have at least an hour more before we get that high tide. And today's low tide is at 3:32 p.m. And then today, another high today later on in the night at 9:43 p.m. And then tomorrow's low begins at 2:05 a.m. And that does it for our Eye on the Weather. Here's a look at our satellite imagery. This gives us an idea of the sort of weather we have above us, some clouds, but it seems to be moving rather swiftly across Belize. Sabrina?
Alrighty, Paul, thank you so much for that weather update. We do got to take a quick break now, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, the conversation switches into Belize receiving the Green Climate Fund accreditation. What does that mean for us? We'll find out when we come back.
And I'm a teacher, and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer. With these online that Belize Bank offered is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds. This is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family, as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
As an athlete, orthopedic health is very important. Our bodies can be so strong and yet still so delicate. Injury is something that we cannot prevent. We could try to mitigate the risk of extreme injuries. However, it is very, very important that you know and understand your body.
As we get older, our bones are getting softer. It's hard to treat degeneration which already happened. The first treatment is a lifestyle modification and the support of physiotherapists. I am Dr. Sergey Adonin, an orthopedic surgeon, and we are watching Caribbean Medical TV.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
This is where blue innovation meets green ambition and orange creativity thrives. Join us for the Belize Investment Summit 2025, September 3rd to 5th at the Sunset Caribe in San Pedro. This is the future of regional integration, and it starts here. Whether you're returning home, expanding regionally, or entering new markets, Belize welcomes you. Why Belize? Why now? Belize Investment Summit 2025. Bridging markets, building resilience. September 3rd to 5th, Sunset Caribe, San Pedro. Visit investmentsummit.bz to register and be part of shaping the investment frontier.
My name is Leomar Langsert and I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is to see if the features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer with these online that Belize Bank offered is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
We at Full-Tech Systems understand that technology isn't just a tool, it's a game changer. At home, smart devices and AI are revolutionizing daily life. In education, tech is making learning more interactive and accessible for students and educators alike. For businesses and government, it's driving innovation, streamlining operations, and unlocking growth, leveraging tech for better services, infrastructure, and security. At Full-Tech Systems, we help you thrive with cutting-edge solutions, partnering with leaders like Dell, HP, Microsoft, APC, Fortinet, Cisco, and Tomy 8. We deliver the right products for your needs, whether it's boosting efficiency, improving customer engagement, or scaling operations. Connect with us and let's drive innovation together. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you come for the price, but stay for the service.
Coming up, get ready because it's crop over time. A friendship contribution to children with cancer, making a difference for those with special needs. African culture expressed through fashion, and another reward for a job well done. It's all next on this station.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. There has been a slight change in our lineup this morning, and we are starting our first conversation with Savoring Fuzed Bistro's organic flavors. On the couch here with me, I am joined by Jolene Pornananda. She is the owner and pharmacist representing Medicare Plus Pharmacy. But also with us on the other side of our set is Paul with Chef Minor Hernandez. He's the executive chef of Fuzed Bistro Limited, as well as Sandra Mai, the manager of Fuzed Bistro Limited. But we're going to go over to them a little bit later on in the show. Good morning, Jolene.
Hi, good morning.
It's so nice to have you here with us.
Thank you for having us.
So this is an interesting conversation because, as I pointed out in the start of this segment, it's all about Fuzed Bistro's organic products, but also there's a collaboration that has taken place with Medicare Plus Pharmacy that is located in Belmopan, for you guys if you're not familiar. Jolene, you are the owner of this pharmacy as well as a pharmacist. But you speak to preventative care and seeing the importance of preventative care where your customers are concerned and really advocating for persons taking care of their health. Health and wellness in general.
Yes.
Let's begin the conversation there. That part of your work being a passion for you.
Right. Like I mentioned before, pharmacy is really, for me, it's more than a career. It's a lifelong passion. I've loved pharmacy from I was in Standard 5. And over the years, I think things have changed. With the introduction of AI and technology, I've been put in a position as a pharmacist to try to stay ahead and to offer more to my customers. For example, it's not just taking care of the flu or coming in for first aid supplies. It's more than that. It's developing relationships so that as a pharmacist who is rooted in faith and driven by compassion, I serve where they need me to serve. And oftentimes it's looking at what's happening, their concerns and worries at this moment so that they can prevent further progression of certain diseases that we can really and truly, because of lifestyle modifications, we can change it.
Yeah. But how do you go about infusing that idea of preventing when your business is built on selling the same remedies that people would essentially need?
Right. So those remedies would be like what we said earlier, post-care.
Yeah.
And the idea behind it is that as pharmacists, we offer solutions. It's solutions that you need for today and solutions that you might be in need of tomorrow. So if you're here and you're probably coming in, you're not feeling well, you're checking your high blood pressure, we might check your pressure and realize, hey, probably your coffee this morning was too strong. Let's cut it back so that we can ensure that you're not developing early onset hypertension or other lifestyle diseases. So it's important because it's preventative. It's better than having to come back later on and you can't reverse it. You've just got to manage it.
So you've set out to find ways to encourage persons to prevent some of these non-communicable diseases, and you've looked at ways that the Ministry of Health and Wellness has done that with campaigns that are taking place worldwide. But you've also taken it a step further in collaborating with other businesses as well. Let's talk about that.
Yes, that's good. We did do a couple campaigns this year, for example, early in February. It was our way of reminding everyone of their New Year's resolution. We held a wellness campaign, Fit for Life. We invited different gyms from Belmopan, Powerhouse, Educo, and we even had a couple fitness coaches from around the Belmopan area and from Orange Walk. And it was all with the essence of saying, let's include movement in our day. Let's look at your mental health. We need to get on the right path. We recently launched our first children's camp, which is for children ages 6 to 12.
Wow.
Saturday
you don't
mornings.
hear pharmacies doing that, Jolene. Wow.
Well, I'm a mother and I know that we need to start preparing the next generation, and that's a reason why this camp is very special to me. We've actually been working with the fire department, which is right across the street from the pharmacy, so we work together to establish the camp. We've been working with the Red Cross. We're in July, but we're already getting ready to launch our No Lice campaign.
No lice.
No lice.
All right.
So it's a campaign that we promote every August with teachers and parents so that they can get back into the mentality that, okay, we're coming back into school, we need to get rid of the germs. Plus, it helps the parents understand that, lice, we do have an issue every time we get back into classes in August, so we want to help prevent that.
At what point did you stumble across Fuzed Bistro Limited? I mean, we've had them on the show several times. It's my understanding that this is their 7th time here on the morning show with us. But we've really highlighted the role that they play in health and wellness where food is concerned. And this aligns so perfectly with the message that you are trying to share when it comes to preventative measures and taking care of your body and mind.
Right. Well, actually, Fuzed Bistro was, I guess it was shared passions. We've had some of our suppliers reach out to different companies that we work with, and they introduced us to Chef Minor and shared his catalog. And from my side, I was like, yes, this is perfect for my patients that have hypertension. I could work with my diabetics. So I reached out to him, and we actually wanted to do it in April, but you know, life happens. And now we're here, and thank God that it's working out, and we are ready to launch our wellness plate.
Well, I am excited to highlight that wellness plate. Speaking of just some of the products that they have, though, me and Jolene are currently sipping on some organic tea over here. This is sour sap leaves and cinnamon. I imagine that there are many, many benefits to this, and it's really, really good.
It is good. It is good.
But I'm going to take the conversation over to Paul now, where he is joined by Chef Minor and Sandra Mai, of course, representing Fuzed Bistro Limited. Paul?
Excellent. Great conversation on that side, Sabrina. So just going first to the wellness place, because we have a lot on the table right now, as you can see. Like the Fuzed Bistro, it seems to be all about the health, the wealth, building a healthy nation. And so this is one of those plates. Let me just bring that to you, to your cameras. And it's a kit, actually. It's referred to here as a kit. It's pretty hefty. It has Creole granola. Matters, I never know Creole granola got ethnicity, but this one the Creole granola. It have Belizean trail mix, forest trail mix, assorted Belizean. How you pronounce that word there, chef?
Tisans.
Tisans. It's what?
Herbal teas.
Herbal teas, all right. And blends healthy spices. I mean, I crack it open, man. It's not take me time with that one there. And then here you have this one, another kit. Again, some Creole granola, organic coconut infused oil, rainforest trail mix, assorted Belizean tisans, right?
Correct.
Right, and blends healthy spices, Belizean bees organic honey. So again, another one of those wonderful kits. Good morning to both of you, and thanks for joining us. You can put them back over. So before I go to you, Chef, we're going to start over on this side with some of the products that you have to offer, right? And I see a nice cup being prepared here for us, parfait. And this contains one of the Creole granola?
Yes.
All right. So tell me about it. Yeah, come.
This contains the Mayan Fusion granola.
These are the Mayan Fusion granola.
It contains our Belizean chocolate nibs.
Okay.
It's very healthy. It's an antioxidant for the early morning, and then of course pairing it with some yogurt. The yogurt could be any of your choice, and then some fresh fruits, right?
Let's quickly go through some of the other products while preparations for that continue.
Great. We have here our organic infused oil. This is a dessert oil. Basically, we use this, well, I use it for dessert for substitution of butter. We have a lot of people who are lactose intolerant, so I created my own infused oil with flavor of cinnamon and cloves, which is actually beneficial, anti-inflammatory also. We'll be using it for our pancake mix. We're going to be making later.
We're going to be making some pancakes this morning, right?
Here we have our Belizean bees, honey, the substitution for syrups.
Okay.
So for people who are diabetic, they can use it. And we have here our organic no salt ricado, the black ricado, and the red ricado.
And they come together
as a duo, or we have it separate.
Nice.
We have our ranch dressing blends, which is actually into powder.
Yeah.
You can do your salad, saute it, and then it doesn't contain milk.
Then you have a coffee blend.
We have a coffee blend. This is for mixing your coffee. This gives you a flavor. We have 4 different kind of flavors. This one is the Blue Hole Spice Mix. It contains mint and anise seeds.
Belizean Creole baking spice.
That is for baking. You can do bread pudding, cookies, and it has a flavor. It has cloves, nutmeg, and it has allspice.
Is there like a reason why you come and you get like a healthy organic versions of spices and seasoning.
Well,
I don't know. Do you have unhealthy spices and seasoning?
Those are no salt, no MSG. So I try to focus more into the health conscious.
Okay.
Being a chef, then I actually implement new dishes. You know, new trends are out there too, also with our organic products. And then I'm trying to use. We have everything in Belize, so might as well we use everything what is Belizean.
Wow.
So all of those are Belizean
So all
spices.
of these are Belizean.
Correct.
Everything with the Sia, the Belizean.
Belizean, except the package.
Except the package, well, clearly. All right, before we continue with these products, let's look at what we have here, the parfait. You mind telling us a bit about, it's very busy getting this thing put together, but as you can see, it's being beautifully done. Can you tell us a bit about what we have here? Oh, you want to try, you know what, tell me, no more talking, pal. Try something. So what do we have here?
This one is the Mayan infused. The chocolate nibs are from our local farmers.
Okay.
So we bake this granola with honey, not sugar. So it's very healthy for our digestive system.
Okay. And then you add some fruits as well.
Fruits.
With cream?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want me to go ahead and...
The whipped cream is soy based.
What's that?
Soy based.
What's soy based?
Soy based means made from soya milk.
Oh, it's
instead
soy.
Of regular dairy milk.
What's that? The
soybean.
The soybean.
Yeah,
No, what is soy based?
Soy based, soy based
Which
milk.
of the product? Oh, the milk.
The
is
milk,
soy-based.
the whipped cream.
Okay, cool. Just checking. All right, I'm trying to get that granola.
It's an healthy breakfast.
This is a very healthy breakfast.
Start your morning right, huh? Good.
Very good. A bit of napkin.
Okay, so
man. Yeah, I wish you could try one, Sabrina. Do you have an extra spoon?
Yeah, we do.
Let me send one over to Sabrina. I'm just yeah, come Sam, come take this. Oh, you can take it. Take it to her. Can you take it to her?
There you go.
Just quickly slide over here. Thank you, guys.
You're not going to regret that decision, Sabrina.
Well, this is my type of segment.
All right, so now we're going to go over to
our gluten flour mixes. This is our new products.
Okay.
We're just launching it actually today is our
Wow.
launching date of our new flour products.
Well,
those
heard
are
it here
blends
first.
made of brown rice, tapioca starch, which is actually cassava. We also has cassava, and then it has oats flour. So it's a mixture of both.
And this is for pancake and
This
waffle.
is for pancakes. This one here is the vanilla dream cake mix. That's for making yellow cakes.
Wow.
So they are gluten free.
This one,
This is granola.
this is the granola.
We have the Belizean chocolate. with
Wow.
Our own Belizean chocolate mix.
Yeah.
So that contains our Belizean flours, will be the root flours, and also our Belizean chocolate. Then we have the Miner's Master Blend.
This is your
That's my
master
favorite.
blend. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
With that one, you can create any type of pastries. You can do tortillas, you can do bread,
Wow.
cookies, pie. So it's all gluten free.
That
they are
is incredible.
celiac friendly also for people who has celiac.
And then here you have some herbs.
Those are tisanes. Those are
Tisanes.
tea. We have 5 different teas.
What's tisane?
Tisane is actually a caffeine-free tea made of herbal leaves like soursop, fever grass, turmeric. It's a combination of both. So I have five different flavors in there.
I'm still stuck on the fact that these products are sourced here in Belize,
Yes,
right?
we do. All
Because
those are
they're such high quality products. They're so appealing to consumers, and you all have gone above and beyond to make sure that this is Belize, made in Belize.
And as you can see, almost all our products say Belize.
Yeah.
Our names are based on our culture, so that our customers feel comfortable in using what we produce. And our country, our earth is very rich, so we produce all of them with our roots.
I love that. And we're gonna go over to Chef. Chef, let's come over to you now then.
Be my guest.
We got some more breakfast to make, right? Like enjoy this parfait. What are we looking for?
Okay, so we're gonna. I'll make you prepare our pancake. And
Is it as easy as it
easy
comes?
as 1, 2, 3?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes 1, 2, 3 not easy. You know.
So here you have your measuring cup.
This is the
You can follow directions.
This is the second time in 2 weeks that I'm making pancake concept.
Okay, yeah.
2 cups of water or milk.
Yeah.
That way we are start?
Yeah.
No, we have to still eat the instruction.
Use all the package.
In a medium bowl, whisk together the egg, the milk, the oil or butter, and vanilla until we combine. So 2 eggs.
Okay, there you go. So this is for your wet ingredient, and this is for your dry ingredient.
And then this is for
That's where you're mixing. That's where you're measuring.
All right. So first thing you have to know how to crack egg, right? Okay. I feel like I done the fool. All right. You know what? Eggshell in your thing.
Exactly.
Good. 1 egg.
Okay.
All right.
I got here some.
Yeah, I have to put that part something.
I'll put it.
2 eggs. Okay. All right. So we done crack with egg. You say you add milk. How much milk? 2 cups of milk.
Okay. So we're gonna be using the Lala.
Thank you.
I have the Lala for you here.
All right,
you
2
can,
cups.
If you are vegan, you can actually use almond milk, oat milk, cashew milk.
Yeah. All right, that's a lot of milk. 2 cups of milk.
Yep. Due to the gluten-free, so it needs to absorb.
And then, is it add oil or butter? What oil are we going to use?
We're gonna be using our infused oil. It's actually my dessert oil, which I showed you just now.
This is the dessert oil, but it's good for
baking.
Cooking. How do you use oil in dessert? Like if you're baking,
If you're baking, you substitute it for butter.
And then you use 6 tablespoons of oil. You have tablespoon, or should I just call on the ancestors? Actually, that tablespoon. All right. We have set that 1. We have set that 2.
Make sure the measurement is accurate.
3, 4. This is a tablespoon for those who don't know.
I don't think that's an entire
No,
I
this
know,
is
right?
no. We have put 1 more just a good measure, right?
No, we whisk.
Okay, good. Whisk. All right. This one come out good. I could hear it one more. The water back there now. I could hear it already.
And we
listen. I am crowned the pancake king in this place.
Okay,
so,
let's see.
Yeah, so
Let's
now Fuzed Bistro just to come in,
Okay,
give me
let's
credits.
see. Let's see.
So good.
And always remember to mix.
To mix
properly.
Properly. How you mix properly now? We add this already?
Vanilla. That's our Belizean vanilla also.
1 tablespoon, right?
I think it has a.
You have the seal. How do you mix properly? What do you mean? You just mix till it's done?
Yes.
Yeah, I always mix till it's done. So I mix properly then.
Listen to the corporate.
Yes. All right, cool.
So we have our own Belizean vanilla also.
This one now 1 tablespoon. Man, this must smell rich. You could turn on that thing you know, you know.
Okay, then good.
All right, good. And then we continue mix. I follow the instruction, guys.
Okay,
all right, so add the pancake mix to wet ingredient. All right, so the pancake mix.
Only that one.
How much are this?
The whole, that's
the
a
whole
3 pack.
thing.
That's a 3
oh, so that means ingredients to everything.
Yeah.
So why not just put it in there?
You can go ahead.
Okay, good. Okay.
Remember,
should I mix as I?
Yeah. Remember when you cook, there's a way of cooking, method of cooking.
Okay, so I did do it wrong?
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah, okay. Well, you should have tell me, chef, but do you think we are still do good?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I'm also an instructor for kitchen, you know. So
yeah, well, you're not doing a good job right now. I just play, chef. I just mess around.
The package says mix it with the wet ingredient, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what the package says,
Okay,
so
great.
that's what I do. All right, so
do not overmix. When it comes to gluten-free, you don't overmix. It has to stay some lumps in there.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will get flat.
Oh, interesting. So it's different than regular mixes.
Exactly.
All right, good.
That's enough.
This is good?
Yeah. Let it rest 2 minutes. If you notice, it's bubbling already, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was easy to mix, I must say.
It's the 1, 2, 3. Good.
Okay.
Now, we have our pot is too hot now.
Oh, it's too hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because the next step will be for then put it on the pot, right?
Yeah, correct.
Do you oil?
Yes, we have our own oil.
Yeah, just turn on down and leave it there, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we can go ahead and do some
waffle as well.
Meanwhile.
In the same, what? So that done hot, man, not ready.
Okay, let's put the same batter.
It's the same mix. Okay.
It's a waffle and
Find out, folks. Breakfast is served.
Okay, just gonna go hot. Yes.
Yeah.
It's
no,
normal.
that is pancake. You remember the last time you tried to make pancakes, Sabrina, you had it thick, right? And that was a problem. Is it okay that it's that consistency, right?
Yes.
That's the consistency you want.
One.
Right. Yeah. So I figured that much. That's the consistency you want with the pancake. And like he said, because it's gluten free, you want it
the oil
to
smells cinnamony. Because that's the cinnamon and the cloves, right? But we don't need a lot of oil in it, so
yeah. And your packaging. Talk a bit about what goes into packaging for you all.
Well, I create my own labels and stuff, so that's all my ideas.
Yes. And in terms of what you're trying to depict in your packaging, what is it? What goes through your mind?
Well, I try to focus more into our Belizean culture, our Belizean theme, so I wanted something to be readable. If you notice, right now everybody buys with your eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
In the sense of, if the package looks good, doesn't really matter the product inside.
Yeah. So how quickly?
As soon as it's bubbling already. So we're gonna.
Yeah. So we're watching it while it bubbles. Ooh, look at that. And this is a non-stick pan?
That's a non-stick pan.
But you still added some oil?
Yeah.
That looks really good, chef. You did do a thing, man.
So we go.
Yeah, all right.
The pan was a little bit too hot, but you know.
No, that's okay.
You see the consistency? It's soft, but it's
more than right. I was just going to say it's fluffy.
It's fluffy,
right?
It's fluffy due to the brown rice and the cassava.
Okay.
It has cassava flour, Belizean cassava flour.
Who is gluten products for? What's the benefit of gluten-free products? Sorry.
Well, the benefit it has a lot of beneficial purposes of it. No? If you notice, it's already finished.
That's done.
That's done. Can I get the plate?
Let me take that there.
Put it here.
Yeah, tell me about the benefits.
Yeah, it usually helps with triglycerides, you know, for the carbohydrates, and then
celiac disease.
For the celiac, which actually gets inflammation of your stomach. Where's the butter?
Why are you looking for the butter? You want to do one more?
One more. Yes.
All right, do one more because that's really quick, and then we'll put that away. And this is empty. Okay, put this away. All right, so good. We have that. How's the waffle doing?
When the light stays on green, it's ready.
I'm gonna have you finish up the pancakes because we also have over here some products we want to display, right? So these are from those packages, and we just want to look at them quickly.
Okay, this one is the vanilla. It's the mixture of Belizean vanilla.
This one?
Yes, sir. And this one, my favorite, is the chocolate.
The chocolate?
Yes.
Ooh.
As you can see, it's very moist.
Yeah.
Fluffy and moist. So.
How much pounds of cake are we looking at here?
This is 360 grams.
Okay, 360 grams.
That's
so that converts into
two round 8-inch cakes.
Okay, 2 round 8-inch cakes.
Similar to the Betty Crocker.
Similar.
All right. Do we take a crack at trying it?
Yes.
You got spoon or thing? Fork? Yeah, just bring another fork there for me, man.
There you go.
So it's gluten free.
Yes.
Good. So there should be a.
Like
this
that.
are the chocolate cake mix. As you put
My
it in your
favorite.
mouth, man, you taste that richness.
Exactly.
And it's 100% Belizean chocolate from our
And you
local
can't believe it's
chocolate
gluten.
farm.
Is this healthy?
Yes.
It's a healthy
100%.
thing. You could fool me. All right, and then this one is the vanilla.
Vanilla.
And you got to leave it
Caramel.
caramel on it, right?
Yes, sir.
Just for those who are adventurous, right? Okay.
I go more to the
Oh, check
chocolate.
this one. I'm going to offset, guys. That's really good. The chocolate, definitely my favorite.
Mine too.
Because of how rich it is. That's really good. Thanks for that demonstration.
There goes
All right,
the waffle.
good. Pancakes done. Waffles done. All right, look at move their fruit cake here. We can put this here right now. All right, we got pancake.
Put the fruits.
We got waffles. We got fruits. We got bacon, pancake. That's how we live, you know.
This is gluten-free bacon.
No, man. Where you get a pig to eat? This is the richness. This is how we start the morning right. This is how we live over here at Fuzed Bistro. Right? So you got your fruits, you got your pancake. And let me just say how beautiful these pancakes and waffle looks. You wouldn't even know if you're not told that in fact it is gluten-free. Everything here is gluten-free. Let's get some stuff out of the frame. You want to add some syrup?
Yes, natural honey.
This is natural honey.
100% organic.
Again, Belizean made product.
Yeah.
Yes.
And along with everything else on here.
No sugar added.
Come add some of this to it. Sab, man, you should over here to smell this.
I can smell it from here.
Can you?
There you go.
What?
Smells really good. It looks really good.
You add the bacon just so one boost, no?
Wally razzle dazzle.
Wally razzle dazzle. All right, guys, tell me, where can people find your products? Where can people find Fuzed Bistro?
Okay, right now the products we have them, well, at Medicare Pharmacy in Belmopan, so they have all the products itself. And then we will have them countrywide also in different stores. In San Pedro, we have in Caribbean Chicken. Not the Flavours yet. Like how I said, today is our launching day of the Flavours. So after today, then it will be available as soon as we can do it on this week.
What's the greatest joy for you about being a part of this business?
Well, I love what I do. I have a passion for food. I love to eat, first of all.
Same. We're in the same boat.
And I always like to be innovative, be creative, use initiatives, and like, hey, if you can eat, if I like to eat a lot of sweets, might as well do it healthy.
Yeah.
Why we don't just go and create something that we can actually won't harm us in no kind of way when it comes to our diets, when it comes to our nutritional facts. So we rather prefer to do something that it could be helpful, also beneficial for other people. We have a lot of people here in Belize, which I have met. They are gluten-free, or they have dietary restrictions problems, and then this is a good alternative for them to try everything what we can also eat as a healthy person, as a regular person, do not having diabetics and hypertension.
You all are based in
Orange Walk. Oil Farm.
And you have your factory?
Yeah, my workshop is there. My workshop, my kitchen. I have a big kitchen. One of these I'll have to invite you.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely more pancakes. Yeah. That's from Orange Walk.
Orange Walk to the yes.
All right. Anything you want to share?
Just that we focus on our health, on our gut system. So we try to give what we think is safe for us and for everyone.
Wow. Good. Well, I focus a lot on my gut system as well, so we are alike in that manner, right? So I'm gonna try a bit of the pancake as we sign off, because I know you wanna try it, right?
Definitely.
Of course, good.
And you let me know.
Let me try just a small.
It looks like it has flour. It tastes like flour, but it's not flour.
All right. So this is the waffle.
The waffle. It will be the same mix. Then the all-purpose flour, the master blend, you can actually create your own flavor of pancakes, and you can also create your own flavor of waffles and then your own cakes.
This is very, very, very delicious. You wouldn't even know that there's a difference
between.
And there's a huge difference.
That's what I want to try to incorporate with all the coffee shops around in Belize, because we do have a lot of coffee shops who offer breakfast now. So this is our next alternative we can offer also for the Belizean locals, our local people, so we can start to eat healthy. Although sometimes right now we can say, oh, we don't need to eat gluten-free products, but then at the longer run, the doctor bill is more expensive than buying a pound of gluten-free flour.
Okay, excellent. So we're gonna taste some more set, and when we come back, we're gonna tell you exactly what it tastes like. But first, we gotta go to a break. When we come back, more open your eyes, start your morning right. Stay tuned.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds. This is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
Prepare for the heat and stay cool with a Reamer-Gree air conditioning unit from Benny's. Choose the right BTU unit size for your bedroom or living room and enjoy complete comfort. You can also save money with an inverter unit that is energy efficient. When the heat is on, stay cool and comfortable with an affordable, dependable AC unit from Ream or Gree. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Corozal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned with us. This is our second conversation for this morning, and it's all about building climate resilience with a historic Accreditation, and we have joining us to tell us all about this momentous occasion, Mr. Henry Anderson. He's the CEO over at DFC, as well as Ms. Veronica Manzanero, who's an environmental specialist over at DFC, and my brother Leroy Martinez, who's the acting director of the Climate Finance Unit in the Ministry of Economic Transformation.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen and lady.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's a pleasure having you. It's a pleasure having you. This is a rather historic moment for the financial sector in Belize. Mr. Anderson, we had a conversation about this last week in the news, and we can expand on that conversation today. Talk a bit about why this is big for DFC and for Belize.
Thanks, Paul. It's big because it opens a major artery, if you will, to access climate financing, right? The Green Climate Fund is a catalytical fund. It looks at financing low emissions, climate resilient projects for development, but it's catalytic in the sense that it looks at projects, it has the systems to ensure the rigor of the projects, and it puts its funds in first, and then you crowd in the private sector, you can crowd in other IFIs. So if Belize needs to do a really big project, the GCF funding can serve as the nucleus for that, and we crowd in. And the other good thing about it is it also promotes leading environmental, social, and gender standards when we do these projects. So when you're talking about resilient, it comes right down to people, because all of this is about people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So for the country, it's that. For DFC, several fold, right? DFC is Belize's national development bank. We're the development bank of Belize. So now we have a tool that allows us to access up to $100 million in the first instance, and we will get to the 500 million mark relatively soon. The other thing it does, it brings credibility, right? Because we are not seeing that we have a governance standard that's international. The GCF is seeing it. And if you go on their website, you will see, I think it's like 153 entities that have been approved for accreditation, 131 that has actually signed the agreements, and 116 I think that's actually accredited, right? So we are in the 153 now. We go through the process, but when you look at the whole world, that's a very small group.
Yeah.
So it tells you how, when you go down that journey, there's no guarantee that you come out at the end, at the finishing line, right?
When you look at the world, it's a huge thing. But when you look at the number of institutions in the world, then you're starting to think bigger picture, how significant this is. But when we speak about accreditation, I believe we're talking about meeting a standard that has been set. But this standard doesn't come out of nowhere. Right. This fund doesn't just come out of the sky. There's a reason why this fund was established. Can we talk a bit about why this fund was established, and perhaps how it ties into global financing, if you would, with climate issues?
Okay, so the Green Climate Fund is the world's largest dedicated climate finance mechanism, and it's actually designed to assist developing countries to reduce greenhouse gas emission and also do climate resilient development. And it is important because it really plays a critical role in achieving the goals of the Paris Agreement. So the Paris Agreement essentially is a global initiative to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and also build climate resilient development. And if you look in the details of the Paris Agreement, we have what we call the Amendment 4 speaks to the countries having or making climate commitments, and these climate commitments are renewed every 5 years. The lead on the climate commitment is the Ministry of Sustainable Development. But going back to the Green Climate Fund, whenever we get accredited, it means that in DFC's case, we are a direct access entity, which means that we would have monies coming directly to the DFC without any, I won't say interference, but without having to go through intermediaries. So it will come directly to us and we can actually build on the project design. Ministry of Economic Transformation is the focal point of the Green Climate Fund, and they're the national designated authority in all of this.
So
let's get Mr.
Martinez into the
Martinez.
conversation.
Yeah. So the Ministry of Economic Transformation is the national designated authority. We are the bridge between the fund and the stakeholders. In this case, one of the reasons that we wanted to seek DFC accreditation was that we're a very vulnerable country to climate change impacts, flooding, droughts, storms, hurricanes. And during the last years, the government was getting loans at high interest rates. And we said, you know what, it's time to change that. We have the Green Climate Fund, Adaptation Fund, and so many other climate funds. So we said, let's seek their accreditation. One of them was to access highly concessionary loans. The GCF is one of the only ones that can provide you loans from 0.01, and the highest that I've seen is 1.58. Interest rates.
Wow.
And compared to the other funding agencies, it's 8-9%. So DFC will now will be able to access highly concessionary loans, but they will also manage to access equity, guarantees, and technical assistance as well. So this will help the government tremendously. My goal and the government goal is that DFC needs to provide that highly concessionary loans to the private sector as well, so that we can benefit as much as possible.
When we say private sector, who are we speaking to? Because I imagine there are people tuning in right now thinking that they would like to know how they could benefit from it as well and access this.
Okay, so a couple things. We're looking at projects up to 100 million.
Okay.
Up to 100 million Belize dollars, right? Obviously, we have a moral obligation to try to make $100 million projects, because there's no use to get that level of accreditation and use it. So you're looking at big projects where you will have multiple stakeholders. However, there can also be big projects that require, as Leora mentioned, we can do equity. So if Belize needs to, let's say, start a renewable power plant, right? That you have local investors who have some of the funds, but they need some patient capital. You know, they can get certain things from the commercial bank, but it requires some lifting up. Well, this is where the GCF can come in as catalytic financing to be able to provide, let's say, some equity participation over years. Or there are cases where we could de-risk. Belize has liquidity, about 700 million in the commercial bank. So we could design projects with them where guarantees come in to de-risk the project and allow some of those funds to come in. Why do you want to do that? Because then we're using Belize dollars for Belize dollar investments, and we're not burning up our foreign or US dollars to pay back. So there are a number of things. So it's private sector, but also communities as well.
Yes.
So if you look at the release, as we discussed, it's broad. We can work with communities, we can work with cities, we can work with industry, so it's relatively broad. So
when you think climate change, climate resilience has been a buzzword in infrastructure. For example, the construction of streets, the construction of roads, the construction of bridges. All of these are considered as a part of funding, correct? Like private sector, public sector.
Right. And when as it relates to the GCF, though, it has like 8 what you call the results areas that you want to focus on. In the case of DFC, for example, we are accredited to work with energy generation and access, promote energy efficiency and renewable energy to decrease greenhouse gas emission in buildings, cities, industries, and so forth. And we also look at improving livelihoods. That's another area, improving livelihoods in people and communities. And then the other one would be health, food and water security, and cross-cutting, meaning that you can do a combination of both. But one of the key things as it relates to Green Climate Fund, it's not business as usual where you get other funds for development projects. This has to have a very specific climate rationale to be able to get financing for your specific projects or programs from the GCF. So it's really not business as usual. It has to really have that climate rationale so that we can either decrease greenhouse gas emission or do climate resilient development.
You want to add to that conversation?
So when it comes to engaging with the Green Climate Fund, it's nothing new for our ministry. Since 2017, we became the national designated authority. We have managed to access 2 large projects. One of them is 20 million, the Rural Resilient Belize, and then the sugar recently received, it was almost 37 US million. And so most of it, it's grant, like the GCF give like a 50 million grant to support the sugar industry. One of the beauties is that they will help you throughout the process. The country receives 1 million every year for us to be prepared readiness funding. They also have project preparation. Let's see if you have a concept note, but it requires additional studies like stakeholder engagement, feasibility study. Then you can access up to 1.5 million grant to develop a concept into a full funding proposal. So that's the support that the GCF provides. When it comes to our ministry, we have the climate finance unit, we have project development officers, we have like additional personnel who can help you throughout the process. We will be from day one until the last, and that's what happened with DFC. It started in 2019. 2025, we were still there, giving them all the support from assisting with the development to making sure that the board gave the approval.
Now, for the DFC, this, I would imagine, means more work as well. You've just saddled yourself with more work. How are you navigating that internally in terms of your units and your staff?
So I want to go back to something I'll say that. So what the GCF is doing by looking at direct access entities, right? They want to cut out the middleman. So at first what the GCF thought would have happened was the multilateral banks, the regional banks, would have assisted countries and entities like us to get up to standard. But when they're looking around, those entities develop projects that they want to do with the countries, but that wasn't coming down. So this comes direct in that it comes directly into the country. There's full country ownership. We understand our culture, our needs, and everything else. So there was a readiness gap, right? A study was done of DFC back in 2021 and identified areas where we need to modernize our governance structure. So we adopted 600 pages of policy. But the work started because you can't just have the policy, right? Accreditation is about showing that you're doing what you say you do. So that work has started. Now we're at the starting line now, right? Because the goal is to develop projects, get them funded and implement. So we will know, we're a bank, right? I just want to say that you have 2 entities in Belize that GCF accredited. You have the 5Cs, which is regional, right? They are 50 million US and going to 250 if they've not gotten it yet, but they will get that. And then you have PACT, that's 10 million. Both are for grants. As the development bank, we can do the other financial instruments that we discussed. So we complement those. And what this means now is that we will strengthen our capacities to execute what we need to execute. Some of that will be training people in-house, bringing people in, but our view is to collaborate, right? So as Leroy mentioned, he has certain talent assets. Then we won't want to duplicate that because we're one tiny little Belize. If we can bring all of the assets we have and bring it like a laser and go after the money, then that's what we need to do, right? But what everybody needs to understand that DFC, like PACT and 5Cs, we are partners now with GCF to carry out the GCF mandate.
Right.
So it's a balancing act. And it's not Belize's money, right? It's GCF's money, and they have their rules and they have their objectives that they want to invest to see. So it's very rigorous, accountable and transparent, meaning when we go to and you develop a project, it has to be sound. It can't be that we wish for this or it's manna falling from the sky. No, it's not.
And if
that,
it's rejected,
right?
it's not rejected from the DFC.
Well, it depends because we can't take foolishness.
Correct.
So we have to collaborate here. And when I say we, it's not only DFC, but government as well, and with the private sector to ensure that what we put up is rigorous. And that's why, as Leroy mentioned, they provide the support to ensure that you go through that. Now, as a bank, we understand what rigorous is, and as we learn that ecosystem, we will know how to navigate.
But that support is, I just wanted to add that support is provided by the Green Climate Fund and government of Belize as well. So we can assist them in developing those proposals. And then you asked a very important question, because our main objective of our ministry is to generate employment. So if they get more work, it's better, because we want to generate much more employment for the people here in Belize. And then we want to bring much more foreign exchange. Now that we have DFC, the US dollars will be coming directly to central bank and then going to DFC account. So it's a lot of benefits that you receive when you have that country ownership.
But going back to your original question, is in terms of the work. It is more work, but remember, the entire concept of the GCF is the paradigm shift to adopting practices that would reduce greenhouse gas emission and build climate resiliency. And it is actually more work, yes, because there are new concepts that are being introduced. We have to implement policies to generate the evidence, to show GCF as proof that we're implementing what we say we're implementing. And so to assist with that, we have a lot of capacity building. We have very comprehensive capacity building at all levels within the DFC. So people who work there will tell you that there have been a lot of capacity building over the years to ensure that everybody is on the same page with implementing the policies and so forth.
But I think though the underlying message here is that this accreditation brings a greater level of hope to Belize when it comes to tackling our climate issues. Whereas in the past, this facility may not have been available, or these funds may not have been available through this medium to really address some of the challenges that we face. Of course, you have PACT and you have 5Cs, but now here you have another avenue for us to say, all right, let's get our hands and feet dirty and tackle these climate issues once and for all with this fund. Would you agree with that, that hope is the underlying message here?
Well, at DFC, we say hope is not a plan. So we are not purveyors of hope. We see opportunity.
Okay, good.
Right? And as we mentioned earlier, we bring the other financial instruments to complement PACT and 5Cs, right? So Belize as a country now have a suite of financial instruments, which means that we can structure projects the way we need to. And again, it's catalytic financing. So our job has to be to put on our thinking caps and see that when we get the GCF on board, we want to get the private sector on board, we want to get other funding sources on board. So from DFC's perspective of the Development Bank of Belize, our job is to get to market. Right? As a small country, the ticket size is always a challenge, because what's big for us is tiny everywhere. So this allows us to do bigger things. And the key to it all is if you can be innovative, right? Belize in 2025 is ranked at the second most vulnerable country in the world to climate change. So one of the things, when you look at climate change, the reality is it's existential. Right? We don't wake up frightened every day, and I don't want to scare anybody, but maybe we should, because it's an existential thing. And the paradigm in the world right now is for you to borrow to climate resiliency. Well, clearly that's not sustainable. What we have to do is to develop and be able to maybe compete to have a chance. So we have to be very smart and innovative in how we use these funds to crowd in, and to build that resilience and move forward. So that's the excitement that we have.
I think for me, what I'm considering at this time is the many times we've highlighted on our newscasts, and even in discussions here, the presence that we would send from Belize to these climate meetings across the world. And we oftentimes ask, what's the means to the end? Are our presence really impactful when we think of the contribution that Belize makes to climate change versus these other big emitters? And now we're seeing Belize being recognized and being accredited by GCF. What does this say in terms of our presence at these meetings now?
Well, Sabrina, we need to improve certain things, right? So DFC, we are working in ALIDE, the Association of Latin American Development Finance Institutions. Finance in Common, those are big forums. And what you see is that every country has their development bank in the discussion. We're not there yet. right? So with the MET, we work closely, but we have to work with other entities in the government so that when we go out there, we strengthen our presence. But certainly, as you said, what it does is it puts us at the table. Recently, Leroy and I were in St. Kitts at the Caribbean Regional Dialogue with the 5 Cs, and the Prime Minister Drew had a saying, and I like it. It says, if you're not around the table, you're on the menu. So this helps us to get off the menu and get around the table, right?
Excellent.
Well, that's a great way to close the conversation right there. It's been a pleasure having you guys here, and we hope to continue following what development will look like, of course, courtesy this new accreditation.
Right, and as we go down the road, you know, there's room for the media to participate and to play a role together.
That's great.
So we look forward to collaborating. Thanks for having us.
All right, well, we take another quick break, but don't go anywhere because we have more conversations for you right here on Open Your Eyes.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
My name is Carlton Flowers, and I'm the owner of Back to My Roots Art from the Heart. And in this store I produce a lot of handmade ornaments. Before I had access, it was a big problem because the tourist doesn't carry as much cash. We needed to have the machine to make the business a success. Dealing with the machine, I don't have to take time out from the store to go and, or send people to go to the bank. I would recommend Belize Bank Digital Service because it has done a lot for me personally. It has done a lot for my business. It helps me with paying my bills online, and I really appreciate that the staff took time out and teach me what I needed to get done. So I'm very happy that now I can do it confidently on my own.
It's finally here. KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds, this is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. This next conversation we are hoping brings greater focus on a story that we recently discovered, Emiliano's fight for a brighter future. This morning we are joined by Emiliano's parents, Lisani Flores, as well as Emil Flores, and we're also joined by a neurologist, Dr. Marco Mendez. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
So Emiliano, we discovered a bit recently that there is an appeal for him to receive some urgent medical care. There's a fundraiser taking place But before we get into how we can support, let's get a bit of Emiliano's story and what wound us to having this conversation in the first place.
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. My son Emiliano, he was born in December 7, 2024. After he was born, we considered him, the doctors considered him healthy, and he was released from the hospital after 24 hours. But after a month or so, we started to notice that he started losing strength from his hip downwards, and he wasn't completing his motor skills as every other baby should do. We were very excited about the birth of our newborn, so we were looking forward to these special moments with him. Unfortunately, after that, everything has just been in and out of hospitals, and that is where we met Dr. Tulio Mendez along our journey. He was the one who advised us to seek medical attention in Merida as well, and from there we sought another doctor in Chetumal. So we sought 3 opinions from different doctors, and during last month we received the devastating news that my son was diagnosed with what is known as spinal muscular atrophy.
Dr. Mendez, just for the sake of understanding moving forward, what is this diagnosis that we're talking about?
Yeah.
How can you explain it?
Yeah, well, the spinal muscular atrophy is a genetic disease. You are born with, and it basically affects the part of our spinal cord, the anterior part of our spinal cord, that innervates, that causes the muscles to contract. Okay, so those motor neurons, very small in that area, are slowly going to be starting to disappear because there's lack of a gene that they call the SM1 gene, and that is where the spinal muscular atrophy affects, and that gene is the one that produces those survival motor neurons. So slowly the child will be starting to lose many of their motor skills. Okay, I remember that when they brought them to me, the baby was about 2 months, and almost immediately when I hold the baby just wrapped around my hand, and immediately that diagnosis comes because of the age of the baby, and at that time the baby was not even able to sustain the head. Okay. Yes, they brought the baby so that I could do some nerve tests, and I did told them that it is going to be a little bit painful because babies with this disease, they are able to feel pain. And I told them that it is not necessary. The best one is to do a genetic test that is done from the blood, and then you prove that this gene, the SM1 type 1 gene, is not present. And that gene is the one that gives that protein, those nerve cells, to survive for life.
Is this an uncommon disorder that we're finding here in Belize?
No, it is a very rare disease. Okay, all of us, in one way or another, could have that defect.
Okay.
More or less 1 out of 50 people could have that defect, but it just happens that both of them came together, and both of them have that defect in a chromosome.
I asked that because we've been seeing reactions online, and people are saying that it's their understanding that this is the first time that we've discovered or diagnosed something like this in the country. Can you speak to that?
Well, I have seen other babies, but yes, that possibly could be.
Okay.
But sometimes it is difficult for people to get the diagnosis, but they have done well the best that they could, and that's how we know about that definitely this is the problem, and where the problem lies within the genes, that it's the SM1 gene.
So we know what the problem is. I want to talk about what you guys have taken as steps as parents to try to find out possible solutions? You spoke about getting up to 3 different opinions from doctors.
Yes.
What has that journey been like since then? It's just about 7 months now, yes?
Right, 7 months. So as my husband said, this all started when he was 2 months, and it's been, like he said, in and out of hospitals. We did start physical therapy for him because we thought he was just a global delay, right? We did see some slight improvement, but overall he just couldn't move his feet, his thighs, right, and over his shoulders. But it has been very heartbreaking because we expected to have, you know, to enjoy this time with our son. You know, he's our first son. Our families consider ourselves healthy. We've never seen this with any both side of the families. So for us to now face this is just very heartbreaking, you know. And but it's been a surprise to us. It's been, you know, I'm heartbroken, right? But at the end of the day, we were able to do the gene test. He is SMA type 1, right? That was what the results came back as. But now the treatment. How do we go about helping our son to basically stay alive? Because as you guys heard, he doesn't have a gene that will help him live, that helps him live, right? So if he doesn't get treatment, he might not make it, right? Which, as a parent, you know, like, what do you do? Like you know, so there is treatment, right? The treatment that we're aiming for is a gene therapy treatment, right? And this treatment comes at a cost of $2 million US, right? I'm sure you can attest a little bit more of what this treatment entails, but as parents, we're going to try to do as much as we can for our son, you know, but how do we go about getting the funds for him to be able to get treatment?
I would imagine that as a parent, like you said, you want to do everything you can. This hits home for me because I'm a father of a little daughter, and my daughter was born December 11th last year, which was only a couple days after baby Emiliano was born. And I could only imagine as a parent, those milestones are important, and you want to see your child hit those milestones, and when you realize that that's not happening, it can really affect you. But tell me how is Emiliano right now in terms of is he responsive, smiling, and does he interact?
He's a happy baby, Emiliano. He is in good spirits. Thankfully, this SMA only affects, you know, like he said, this spine and his hands and feet, but his face is just, you can see.
So he smiles, he laughs.
He smiles, he coos, he you know, he's just overall happy. His eyes are bright, you know. So for us to see him slowly, like basically fading away.
Doc, medical intervention, what does it look like? What can be done to help, and what's the future prospect?
Well, recently, because the therapies have recently advanced, before, let's say, 5 years, 10 years before, nothing could be done. Basically, supportive treatment and trying to see that the baby doesn't suffer too much. Because these babies, intellectually, they are okay. Their brain is okay. Right. The only thing that they are not able to move at all, and depending on the severity, they have various types. But the type 1 that their baby has really doesn't have that gene that is going to be provoked, causing that those motor neurons be able to contract those muscles. So recently, treatments, there are about 3 treatments, but the gene replacement therapy, which is a novelty, which is raw, like one would say, because with this treatment, what they did was get a virus that is not doesn't cause disease, and put the gene inside of the virus, and then it is injected into the baby, which is amazing. But yes, it is very expensive.
And I imagine it's also not done here in Belize as well.
Yeah, it's not done in Belize. And it is just for about an hour, because it's just infused through the vein. It's an IV, and it's a one-time replacement.
No, 2 million is a lot to raise. Let's make no mistake about that. But efforts are underway. Talk a bit about how we're going about raising these funds. There's a goal, there's hope that we can meet this goal. How are we going about doing
And also
that?
a timeline. What's the timeline looking like to ensure that we get some of these monies together?
That is very important, right? The timeline of trying to get this, because the more time passes, those neurons they die, because they don't have that protein to maintain them, to maintain them and be able to survive. So we're talking about, if the baby doesn't get the treatment, in 2 years it's gonna die. More or less, right now he's still within that time, because there are still neurons that are still there that have survived, and with the gene therapy, that those neurons will be able to survive. Of course, there are other treatments. What happens is that there are 2 genes. This one is the one that produces the gene 1 is the one that produces the 90% of the protein. The gene 2 is only 10%. And yes, the baby has some of the type 2, and other treatments that are available that are still expensive, because you're talking about $500,000, $300,000. That will make the baby prolong as to get that other treatment,
which is absolutely necessary. So let's go back to support and how we're seeking to raise these funds. There's a GoFundMe. I saw a raffle as well recently. Let's talk about that and how the community is coming together.
Okay, well, first of all, we want to give thanks to everyone who have been kind enough, whose heart our son's story has touched. We have received a lot of donations via our bank accounts that we have been publicizing via Facebook, and also, like you mentioned, we do have a GoFund that we have created. So there are also other ways that we have been trying to raise funds via raffles, via our families have been doing, food sales and stuff like that. It seems impossible, but we are believing in a miracle. We are believing in trusting to believe in God.
Yeah.
And we are also reaching out to organizations out there. We are sending emails, applying for grants, applying for assistance, funding from these big hospitals, for example, St. Jude's, Shriners. But so far we haven't gotten any positive feedback from them.
What's the timeline in terms of when you want to make a visit or travel, an initial trip? Do you have any timeline right now?
Well, as soon as possible, basically. Right. So if an opportunity would come up, we would go tomorrow if that was possible, right? So the timeline is very important, because, as was explained, he has to receive this gene therapy before he's 2. But apart from that too, he must not have any other complications. Right now, his breathing is starting to get a little bit. It's a bit harder for him to breathe, right? So we've been trying to help him out with that, with as much as we could. But yeah, we're just praying and hoping that a door might open that we may act on and get him the help that he needs, which is this treatment.
So there are several fundraisers taking place, as you guys mentioned, raffles and even food sales. But for persons who might be tuning in and simply just want to make a donation, how can they do so?
Right. Well, we do have our accounts. We have a Belize Bank and a Heritage account, and we also have a GoFundMe page as well. for people outside of Belize might want to give, that's a way that they can give.
Do you have a
how can we
number
reach you by number?
that you're using for the public?
Yes, it's our personal ones.
Could you share it?
Yeah, 615-5735.
All right.
614-9302.
All right. Well, you want to say something finally, Doc?
I just want to really say that it is commendable that what they are doing, because sometimes we have those types of children and you don't hear about them. I mean, family would just say, oh, he died because, well, he was suffering or that, and it goes away, and we don't have this, we don't get to know about deep problem that sometimes could affect families with all the emotional and of course the child that is suffering, you know.
Yeah.
So kudos to them that are just pushing to see how best they could make
Doc,
this child survive.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. We want to encourage the public out there to reach out to the family, lend a helping hand. If you can, support through the bank accounts, through the GoFundMe, and even if it's saying a little prayer right now for them, if that's all you have in this moment, you could send a little prayer. Take a moment to send a prayer. We're all in this together. Creole said today could be me and tomorrow it could be you, right? And so as a community we all come together and see how we could support. But thank you all so much for your bravery and your courage for coming on set and sharing your story.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have our final conversation. You don't want to miss this one. Stay tuned.
And I'm a teacher and I bank with Belize Bank Independence Branch. What I enjoy is the safety features that the app offers. I have a sense of not having to worry or be concerned about somebody finding my password and username to sign in the application because of the use of the one-time password. And another feature that I love, that I use the most, is how the app synchronizes with my fingerprint on my device. I enjoy the rapid and easy, seamless process to apply for loans through the Belize Bank, and I don't have to be having too much back and forth to visit or take time to visit the bank. They also start to offer the online applications through the app for loan applications, which I believe is very neat. I would definitely recommend Belize Bank to other teachers because one of all the features and advantages that the app offer, with these online that Belize Bank offer, is basically everything that you can do in the palm of your hand. So I would definitely recommend the bank to other teachers.
Finally here, KTV The Remix Season 7 goes live. Come meet the new cast of challengers ready to shake up the stage and remix the culture. From raw local power to lyrical fire, from classical hits to bold new sounds. This is where Belize's next star is born. The place to be? The Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. Get your tickets today for only $5 at Greater Belize Media on Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. KTV The Remix Season 7, Tuesday, July 8th at 8 p.m. See you there.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Curacao, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Welcome back. This is our final conversation for this morning. Thank you for staying tuned with us. This one is about Belize's scouting Belize's future for the U15 basketball stars. And we have joining us the president of the Belize Basketball Association, none other than Mr. Jacob Leslie. Mr. Leslie, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Nice to be here.
Thanks for joining us. It's good to have you on set this morning. So we're in scouting season, right? The U15 basketball national team.
Yeah.
Talk a bit about this approach and what we're looking for.
Yeah, so we're doing basically the same thing we did 3 years ago when I first became president of the Basketball Federation. There used to be this narrative around Belize basketball that it's favoritism kind of thing. So we try to open it up and make sure we visit all the jurisdictions and see what talents are out there and then pick a pool of players to represent our country from it. We did it 3 years ago with the U16 national team. Those guys are now 18 years old. Their last competition will be in the junior category this October for Central American Games. Okay. And then they will have to transition to the senior. And so now we have to replenish that pool of players in our junior level. And so this process is recruiting kids born in 2011 or later to compete next year. So they're going to compete next year in the U15 Central Basket. But we want to identify them now so we can train them and get them prepared for that competition next year.
You know, you just said kids born in 2011.
I know, right?
And I was like, Jacob, what? Kids born in 2011?
Like
they're like
5?
They're like 5 years old. What? That's so interesting.
Yeah.
But to talk about the type of representation that these kids that would essentially be recruited would get or would be able to give, let's speak about that.
Yeah. I mean, what the previous cohort did was put Belize in a place it has never been, right? So we went from in 2022 when I became president, we were unranked in basketball. And we are now ranked top 10 in the Americas.
Yes, I remember
so
when we talked about that.
We're ranked 59 in the world. And so we're just trying to continue to take steps forward and try to increase this exposure from the first cohort of kids. We have 7 of those kids who have received scholarships to college. We have 2 more of them right now in the United States being showcased to different college coaches and high school coaches in hopes of getting them other exposure. So the opportunity for them to put them on a global stage, to be seen, for coaches to see them and potential people to see the talent that they have and invest in them to create better opportunities for them that for some reason in Belize we just can't provide. We don't have the facilities, we don't have the resources, and so our job is to try to get these kids out so that they can maximize their potential.
Yeah, and these kids, they've convinced us, right, that they are worthy of being scouted by regional and international teams. They've convinced us through the hard work and the dedication that they've put in that they are world-class caliber players, right? Produced here in Belize. And I think that's important to note, which shows that we have more players like that here in Belize. It's just a matter of finding them and putting them in this sort of structured program. Talk about how the scouting will work. Where are we going? What are we looking for, etc.?
Yeah, so we start tomorrow. We start today actually, this afternoon at the Belize Civic Center at 1 o'clock. So we look at the kids in the Belize district, and then tomorrow we go to Dangriga. So we look at the kids in the south, and then on Thursday we go to Cayo, and then on Saturday we go to Belmopan. At the end of the month on July 27th, we go to Orange Walk to look at the kids at the north. But basically what we're doing is skill identification, right? We brought a coach Whipple from Ohio to help us with that. Talent identification, looking at the skills of the kids who are ready now or who are right on the cusp of getting ready to help us compete internationally and regionally. So this particular competition we're preparing for is the one we did 3 years ago in Belize. It's Central Basket, so it's not a regional competition, it's a little bigger than that. So it's the Puerto Rico, it's the Dominican Republic, it's Central America, and the Caribbean, right? So it's for these kids who are 14 years old right now, we're putting them on a grand stage.
Yeah.
Right? It's and many of these kids have not had the opportunity to compete a lot at their age group. So it's a great opportunity for them, but at the same time it could be overwhelming. And so when we try to do these things for the first one, we try to host these competitions in Belize so that at least they have the family support around them and to support them. But it's like I said, what we're doing now is just talent identification. We're going to cut down, we're trying to get 100 kids, a pool of 100, and then over the months we cut it to 30. When you get that top 30, we replicate what we did with the U16 team. We have an MOU with the Ministry of Education where we can get all of these kids a scholarship to attend school in Belize up to a bachelor's degree program. So those top 30 kids will have that same ability.
That's amazing.
And then as we get closer
wow.
to the competition date, then we pick the 12 that will represent us in the competition.
What do they need to have other than just skills? Do they need to have their documents in order? Because I know a lot of them will be traveling if they do get that opportunity to be selected.
we just ask that they come to the practice half an hour before with an ID so we can confirm their birth date. Whatever they need going forward, whether it be passport or visas, we facilitate that through the Federation. We try to assist them in getting those documents that they don't have.
Fantastic.
Right. And how long can they expect to be in the sessions, like this afternoon?
It's 3 hours.
3 hours.
It's a 3-hour session. We do from 1 to 4 in each jurisdiction. So tomorrow we'll be in Dangriga. That's from 9. And we run up to 12. So they're all 3-hour sessions. So we basically have 3 hours to show us that you have these requisite skills to represent Belize at this competition.
I'd love to just watch that. That sounds like it's gonna be like super inspiring. For families or persons interested and wanting to reach out to know specific locations, I know you identified the jurisdictions, but for specific areas where they can go, how can they reach out to you guys?
I mean, they can reach me on my cell phone 610-2534. But all the information is also listed on our Belize Basketball Federation Facebook page. I want to encourage the parents or the siblings or family members to come out with the kids and lend them that support. I can tell you, it's a lot of pressure you're putting on these kids, and sometimes the anxiety, the nerves gets the best of them. The parents and the siblings know these kids better, so they can see it and then kind of calm them down so that we can see the best version of them. We don't want a kid to come, they're so nervous that they're unable to exhibit their skills, and then the opportunity pass them, right? So we ask the parents, I mean, I know it's during the week, so people might be working, but send a cousin, send an uncle, send a sister, send a brother with them, just to give the support to these kids. Because again, they're 14-year-old, 13-year-old, so it can be overwhelming for them, right?
Still sort of babies.
Well, Jacob, this is how we build the future of basketball in Belize. So I have to commend you, your team at the Federation. I think this is an excellent step, and I look forward to seeing the pool that you put together, their preparations in time for the Central Basket tournament. All our eyes are on Belize's youth basketball because of their performance last year and the year before. So excellent stuff, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, we got to wrap things up here, Paul. It has been a fantastic show with great conversations and even good food too. And so we have to say a huge thank you to all of our guests who joined us this morning, but also you guys for tuning in with us. It is June 8th, and if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to ya. If you'd like to, July 8th. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com.
You can also catch us live on Facebook every weekday morning at Open Your Eyes BZ.
As well as Instagram for behind the scenes contents, that's OIE Belize. You can even call us or text us on our OIE phone number. That's 675-2555. We also want to remind you that today is KTV The Remix.
Live show.
It's the first live show. Definitely get those tickets. They're only $5, and you can purchase them here at our studios on Coney Drive, as well as 88 Shopping Center here in Belize City. They're only $5. Come on out. And if you're not able to make it to the live show, though, you can also watch it online or on your local TV channels as well. Again, thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow when you open your eyes
and start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your hearts open.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, Belize. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.